but welcome everybody. My name is Veronica. Some of you probably know me from talking at the center and everything, but I wanted to welcome everyone here. This is the introduction to the Energy of Life, or EOL, Integrative Healing Process. So the EOL process was discovered / invented / downloaded by Aaron Singleton in the early 1990s, and it's really the foundation for his extensive body of work. It's an empowering healing process that anybody can learn to use, either by itself or in combination with other modalities for self-healing or in partnership with another person, a client. And what you learn tonight, you can start using at home in your own personal practice. And if you're interested in diving a little deeper, stay tuned in the next several months to a year. We're probably going to be offering the Ideal Process Intuitive Development Workshop course, probably next year, 2023, but we'll have details forthcoming when we have them. So just a few really quick housekeeping items before we get started. Please just keep yourself muted, be mindful of that unless you're actively speaking. And if you're not familiar, the little mute button is down at the bottom. It looks like a microphone and it has a red slash through it if you are muted. So you just click on that to unmute yourself when you're invited to, and then just make sure you re-mute yourself so we're not too distracting during the workshop. And also just a quick reminder that we do have 2 events coming up this Saturday, March 12th. It's our energetic spa day, which I feel like we could all use a relaxing spa day right about now. We have 2 events on Saturday. So in the morning from 10 to 11:30 is the energetic facelift. It's a group healing focused on addressing the root causes of fine lines and wrinkles, improving skin tone, sagging skin, facial injuries, surgeries, things like that. No pain, no trauma, and definitely way less expensive than a traditional facelift. And so that's an hour-and-a-half long, and it's $59. And then in the afternoon from 1 to 3 is the remote acupressure group healing. So obviously acupressure is traditionally done in person, but Aaron will be demonstrating how you can use the EOL AccuWand tool to do acupressure remotely. So he'll do a couple of different series from the manual and demonstrate how you can do that with the AccuWand tool. So that is from 1 to 3, and it is $69. So the links for both of those to register are on our website, thewaytobalance.com, under the events and workshops area. And even if you can't be present for our workshops, I will send the replay afterwards. So you always receive the healing energy during a group healing, even if you're not on the Zoom call. And I'll send the replay afterwards. So I'll be sending the replay from this evening's event sometime tomorrow. You can look out for that email. So that's all I have. Thank you. And without further ado, I will turn it over to Aaron.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for showing up tonight. So as Veronica said, I am Aaron Singleton, and I am the founder of the Energy of Life Healing Process and the Way to Balance. So I founded the Way to Balance back in 1993. 94 is when the Energy of Life Healing Process came to me. And the process did not come to me in the way that you will experience it today. When I originally got the download, as Veronica said, I was working primarily with what I would call Egyptian energy. And that came because of my many lifetimes in Egypt. And so I started to look into the headdresses of the Egyptian gods. We always look at those and we say, oh, they've got those sun discs, up there at different places, different sizes. And we think of it as a headdress, just ornamentation. However, what I discovered was that each size and the distance, let's say from the forehead up above the crown, presented itself with a different frequency, a different energy. So someone that had multiple sun discs worked with a lot of different frequencies. And then you had Ra, which had a huge sun disk or solar disk behind the head. Well, it was all encompassing, work with everything. So what I originally started doing, working with a few people that I knew, would have them sit 10, 12 feet away from me. And I would put my hands in the position of those solar discs in the head, from the headdresses of the gods, and project the energy. And then they would give me feedback on what they felt and where they felt it in their body. So having said that, that's what I'd like to do right now is a quick introduction, and then talk about the process of how that came from projecting it that way from my third eye and from my crown and everything, how I was able to bring that down into my hands, work with it, transmit it, and eventually it became the energy of life healing process. And that's what we're going to do right now. Is you're going to experience it the way that it was done originally, as it came to me. And there's a few funny things along the way, but I'll share that as well. So I'd like for everyone to sit up straight, take a breath, and kind of be in your receiving mode. So as I put my hands in the position, pay attention to what you feel and where you feel it. All right. So if I'm thinking of a solar disk that's right here, and I'm projecting the energy, so it's coming from this circle here, and it's coming to you, pay attention to where you feel it. And for those of you that are on screen, just kind of put your hand up there. Let me see where you feel that energy coming to you. You feel it coming to your forehead, or is up a little higher, a little lower? Okay, good. Someone's feeling it right there about where my hands are. Same. Okay, a little bit lower than where my hands are. Okay, and then you can just relax, because you don't need to do anything right now. You're just receiving. I just want you to notice where you feel it. All right. So this would be one frequency range from one of the solar disk in the headdress of the gods. But now if we take that, I'm going to move my hands up so my thumbs are right at my hairline. My hands just went up a little higher. And how many of you noticed a change in the energy? Feel different? Feel it differently or above? Yes, feel it all even up above your head more. Good. I see thumbs up. Someone else saying they feel it up higher. All right. So now if I take and I separate my hands and I make it larger, what do you notice? You feel it larger as well, and even up higher? Okay, good, good. Some of you are thumbs up, some of you are showing me with your hands. That's perfect, thank you. All right, so then every time I go up, if I take my thumbs, now my thumbs are resting on my crown. And again, where did the energy go for you? Is it at your crown and above, or is it even totally outside of the body? Okay, so pretty much. All right, so someone's saying right at their crown and above, someone's saying above. Okay, and we have the same thing. If I make it a little bit larger, okay, then it feels like it got bigger also above your head. All right, so this is how, this is going to give you a whole new way to look at those headdresses of the gods. When you're looking at books, when you're looking seeing them in a movie or something like that, a museum, it's no longer going to be just, the outfit and the ornamentation. You're going to realize that this is what depicted the level of energy that they operated at. And if they had multiple discs, then they operated with multiple frequencies. So if I'm going to energetically place one here, I'm going to energetically place one here, and place another one here. Now you've got all three coming at you at once. Can you feel the difference now as I place them in three places, projecting them from all three places? All right, give me a thumbs up or a nod if you can feel that. Good. See some hands waving, some thumbs. All right, so then if we think of Ra, the sun god, big solar disk. Now, pay attention to the volume of energy that's coming compared to the smaller ones that I was presenting earlier. Right, so now you feel it, just like I've got my arms out there, and you're feeling it big also. Some of you may feel it throughout the whole body now because it's all encompassing. So I would literally sit with my hands in the different positions and project the energy to my friends. They would tell me their experience. And this was, how I was looking at the energy of Ra as it was coming through me. And that was based on my many lifetimes in Egypt, where I had been been a priest in the temple of Horus and Isis. I've been a priestess many lifetimes. Now, as you can imagine, well, let's put it this way. How long can you hold your hands in this position? It gets a little tiring after a while. So I had to find a way to project the energy, but without killing my shoulders in the process and my arms. So I was able to bring that energy down and into my body, pull the energy in through my palm, but then project it with the other hand. So as I project it with my hand, now I'm going to show you what can be done. As I project it with my hand, I'm going to project it right to your chest. All right, you feel that in the chest? Just give me a thumbs up, a wave, or whatever. All right. Now, just with intention, as I choose to change the location, now I'm going to send it to your throat. All right, give me a little thumbs up if you feel it shift to your throat. Good, see some nods and thumbs. All right. So as I'm pulling the energy in now, I'm pulling it in both through my crown and through my other palm down here, and then projecting it out through this upper hand. So this is the energy of life process as it came to me back in 1994. The original process of tapping into the Egyptian energy of it being projected through the headdresses, but then how I needed to be able to do it to work with people. And it hasn't changed in all these years. It's still probably the most powerful way of bringing in energy and running energy to help others that I have run across. And the great thing about it, it can be utilized with any other form of energy that you're already working with. So people that are doing Reiki or pranic healing can utilize this energy in their practice, and it just enhances what you're already doing, or you use it as a standalone. It really doesn't matter. We're still working with universal energy no matter which modality we're working with. All right. Now, the energy of life. When I was working with one of my friends one day, I said, well, and the energy was really strong. I said, what are we going to call this? And it just basically came to both of us that we were going to call it the energy of life. Because if we think about, again, the solar disk of what's coming from Ra, it was an energy that was bringing life to his people. It was the energy of life. And it was not only for healing, but it was day-to-day sustenance. And sometimes if you look at the pictures of the solar disk on some of the papyrus and things like that, but also Tutankhamun's tomb has a very good one of, you have a solar disk above the head of the pharaoh, and then you see like the rays coming down from it. But at the end of each ray, you see a little ankh, and it was like the pharaoh was being fed the ankh. So the solar disk, the energy of life, feeding the pharaoh the ankh. Okay. So there's a lot of symbology that I have looked at, studied, and cataloged in my trips to Egypt. I've looked at so many different things and found, let's say, 40 different positions that have been overlooked when it comes to the papyrus and the statues and things. And many of them have profound healing potential. And if you put yourself in that position, you can feel the energy. All right. And not everything, but many of them do have that. So you just follow the art on the wall, so to speak, and it will guide you as far as what you need for healing. Now, we're going to take this in on a personal level now. So I'd like all of you to turn your palms up on your lap. So both palms, just let them rest on your lap. Or if you're in a chair with arms, let it rest on the arms of the chair, that's fine. And I'm going to send the energy into your palms. So as you feel the energy come into your palms, just give me a nod. Good. Some of you are nodding already. So right now, we're just letting the energy pool in the palms. All right, so now everyone take a couple of breaths. Think of your arms like they're straws. You want to draw that energy up your arms, all the way up into your neck, into your head. Exhale the energy down through your body and out your feet. Each continuing breath, pull the energy in through your hands, through your palms, up through your arms, into your head, neck, and shoulders, and then exhale it down through your body and out the soles of your feet. Now, some of you will feel the energy going out your feet almost immediately. Some of you, it will take 3 or 4 breaths. Some may feel it going out the feet, but don't feel it going through the body. Some may feel it in the body, but not going out the feet. Don't worry about that. It needs to open up the channels in the body. So as it's making its way through with each continuing breath and eventually going out your feet, the energy is touching and waking up every cell in your body. This is one of the parts of the process that is kind of unique, that you are literally waking up every cell in your body. So again, the energy of life, giving life to the cells. All right, so if you can feel it going out your feet, give me a nod. Good. See a hands up, see a thumbs up, a nod. Great. Now, just with the flow of energy going through the body, nothing else, it starts to carry out stress and tension. It's like it's washing, bathing your cells, bathing your muscles, your bones, and taking out stress and tension that you've stored in your body. So as a meditative process, just to sit and run the energy through your body, for many people is enough. So it becomes a meditation all on its own. Now, I know it's a little early in the process, but can some of you feel some stress and tension leaving already? Just give me a thumbs up and a nod if you can feel your body relaxing a little bit. Good. I see some hands up. So to give you an idea of what I do with this, I get up in the morning and literally sit up in bed, put a pillow behind me, and I move the energy through my body for 15 minutes to a half an hour before I get out of bed. So this way, any of the stress that I took in the day before, anything that I want to work on from my past, as far as anxiety, tension, frustration, sadness from my childhood or any time in my life, I can move that energy out of my body before I even get out of bed. So I start the day off good. And like I said, it only takes me 15 minutes to a half an hour. It becomes part of my morning routine. So it's not something I have to say, oh, I got to set aside time in order to do this. It just becomes a natural part of the day, normal. And then if I want to focus on something that's really important to me, I can use it as a meditative process to get answers, to help guide me to things, to resolve things. And it allows the information to more easily come into my crown and into my consciousness, because I'm clearing the clutter, the confusion, the what ifs and the questions and the, as we call what, right here in the forehead, we say this is where the itty bitty shitty committee resides. So if your itty bitty shitty committee is really active, you have a hard time getting answers. So if you can clear that out in the first 15 minutes to a half an hour of the morning, your day is just going to be so much smoother. All right, how many of you can feel some clearing in your brain? Head getting a little clearer, lighter? Good. See your hands, I see some nods. Great, thank you. And see, the only thing you've done at this point is gotten the energy moving. Now, once I help you get the energy moving, you could actually get up and walk around the room and keep the energy going. It's not something you have to be sitting or laying down and really focused. You can, when this is taught in workshops, we actually have people walk out of the room, walk down the hall. We have a nice little line of people walking around, coming back in another door, and they still have the flow of energy going through their body. So when you're walking in the park, the beach, you can have this flow of energy. So to help with that meditative walk that you're already doing. Now, the fact that I started it by sending the energy, the more you do it, the more you just sit down and focus on pulling the energy in through your hands, you will be able to do this yourself. That's how simple this is. If you can feel it today, you'll be able to feel it tomorrow. So it might take you a little bit longer to get it started on your own without my help, but the whole goal is to assist you today so that tomorrow you can do this for yourself. That is the energy of life healing process. It's all about empowering you, giving you a new tool to work with to make life easier, to help you let go of stress more easily. So having said that about stress, take your consciousness to a particular stress in your life. It can be something that's been going on recently. It could be something that happened 40 years ago. It doesn't matter. So take your consciousness there, take the energy there, and work on washing that stressor right on out of your body, letting the energy go right on out your feet. Now, when I'm working with stress like this, sometimes what I will do is I'll give that stress a size or give it a number. But let's say if we're working with size and we have stress that's the size of a basketball, as you continue to move the energy through, that basketball of stress gets smaller and smaller and smaller. If you're working with a number and you said, oh, it's an 8, then as you work with it and you keep breathing, you find it goes from an 8 to a 7 to a 6 to a 5 as that stress is getting to be less and less in your body. And that's in your body, in your head, wherever that stress is. And for some of you, it's even out in your energy field where you're holding the stress. And I want to say there is no stress that cannot be released as long as you are willing to go there. There are some times when we have things in our past that we just say, oh, I can't deal with it. I can't think about it. I can't go there. And when we do that, we're already shutting down the process. We're stopping ourselves from releasing what we know we can release just with a little work. See, my work's done. Now I can just sit here and watch you guys release stress. See how easy that is? Works better. Well, it works better than a glass of wine. It's just not the same. All right. Now let's everyone take this energy as you're pulling it in. Let's take it to your lungs. Let's everyone work on opening up the lungs by bringing the energy in to break up any congestion that's in the lung, any tension that's in the lungs from holding emotionally or whatever it is from any time in your life. You don't have to think about it. So as you inhale, you pull the energy up and like inhale it all the way into your lungs. And then exhale it on out to exhale that energy out of your lungs. Sometimes we're holding on to a little fear and anxiety, sometimes a little sadness, frustration. It doesn't matter. All you need to do is focus on breathing out the stress that you're holding in your lungs. So the EOL process, the energy of life process, helps connect you to your higher consciousness, bringing the energy in, energizes, vitalizes, stimulates every cell in the body. It helps to open you up as far as your intuition. So when you have every cell in your body resonating at this frequency of light coming through you, it enhances your intuition. So at this time, go ahead and take about 3 more deep breaths. And if there is a particular area of pain or discomfort anywhere in your body, let's say you had whiplash 40 years ago, or you had hip surgery, or you sprained your ankle, doesn't matter what it is. If it's an area of your body where you're still experiencing some tension, doesn't have to be pain, take the energy there. So as you inhale it in, just like you inhale it all the way to that shoulder that's tight, and then exhale it out. If it's your lower back, it's like you inhale it all the way into your lower back, and then exhale out that stuck energy that's in your lower back. So everyone pick a place where they are aware of some tension. It might be the neck and shoulders from emotional, tightening up, work related, doesn't matter. Just take the energy there. Now, if you can feel that area of your body starting to soften, some of you may feel some twitches, releases as the muscle is letting go, or you might just feel it soften and relax. How many of you can feel something like that? Just give me a hands up, please. Good, good, most of you. Now, for some of you, with the energy going through, you may be drawn to move your body a little bit. Now, don't just move it like you normally would. Literally let the energy guide you. So I taught myself how to adjust every vertebrae in my body by feeling the energy and just letting my body turn gently and go as far as it needed to go and hold. And then I would take a few deep breaths. Then I would find, let's say, that my neck and head would go somewhere else and maybe tip back. And again, I would take some deep breaths, and then there would be a release. And then I would go somewhere else, and the same thing. So you may find that you need to literally turn in your chair to move the energy a little differently. You might need to roll the shoulder or tuck it behind you, depending on where you are taking the energy right now. But it's all gentle. It's not like we want to, whip our head and neck back and forth or throw the shoulder. Just let the energy take you there in a nice, gentle way. And the rest is just take a couple of deep breaths when you're there. And sometimes you'll be surprised because you'll actually feel your spine adjust. You just saved your trip to a chiropractor. And there are some times when you literally need to get up from your chair and do some other type of stretch. It might be a yoga position. It might be stretching against the wall. It might be using the chair to do some type of stretch to assist you. But you are now working with your consciousness through the energy of life process, which is guiding your intuition to show you or tell you. Some people will see it in their mind's eye that I need to be in this position. Other people will just know that, oh, this is what I need to do. And if I do this, my back is going to relax. And you start to trust the process. And the more you trust the process and repeat the process, the better and better you get at the energy of life process. It's that simple. And I'm one to say up front, I like easy. This is an easy process. All right, so for some of you that were working on a particular area of the body where you had some tension, if that tension is gone or almost gone, give me a thumbs up or a wave, or good. I got a couple thumbs, a wave, a nod. Okay. Now, back a few years ago, I had over here on the left side, I had a root canal that went bad, got an infection in it. And I went in to see my dentist on a Monday and took a picture. They took an x-ray, and he got me an appointment with an endodontist the very next Monday for a 3D x-ray. And between the Monday when I saw my dentist and the Monday when I saw the endodontist, I completely healed that tooth. I did not need to have the root canal redone, all with the energy of life process and being able to direct the energy there to eliminate the bacteria. Now, then going back to about the time of the start of COVID, I had a cracked tooth over here on the upper right. So went in for an emergency visit because I was in pain. My cleaning was coming up in about 3 or 4 weeks. So I said, well, I'll wait till I come in for my cleaning and we'll evaluate it. Well, during that 3-week period, I kept sending energy to that cracked tooth. So when they actually took a photo of the tooth, because it was visible, you could just look in my mouth and see it. It wasn't like one of those real fine cracks that you have to get a magnifying glass or something. Well, when they took the picture, there was white light coming out of the crack that showed up in the black and white photo. And it took me a couple of months. However, that's been over 1.5 years now, and I totally mended the cracked tooth. I have no problems with cold, heat, chew anything I want on it. And luckily I have a holistic dentist who was like willing to, give me a try to see what I could do with it. He probably does not want me teaching all of his patients how to do that. Be bad for business. But that is the power of the energy of life process, that you can literally heal things like root canals and cracked teeth, as well as organs and glands and lungs and everything else in your body, because you are bringing in the universal energy to that particular part of the body that you are focused on. Or in some cases, you're just bringing it through your whole body and allowing spirit to work its magic and go where it needs to go in whatever order it needs to go, so that you can, heal yourself. So that's the first time you've heard me say that heal word. And it is true that using the energy of life process, you have, or you will have, the ability to heal many things in your body that doctors will say, no, there's nothing can be done for that, or you can't do anything for that. But remember, everything is frequency, everything is energy. So if you can bring the right frequencies into your body, yes, then you are in charge. You have the potential to have the doctor sit back and say, well, I didn't know you could do that. When I've worked with people with cataracts and the cataracts disappear, doctors are kind of amazed and don't know what to say. Heart conditions and things of that, where a person's had a heart condition for 20 years and it disappears because we're using the EOL process. Again, doctors don't know how to explain that. Lung conditions, asthma, same thing. So as you were working on opening your lungs earlier, a lot of times the lungs are tight because of holding emotion there. A lot of times they're tight because of past, let's say, stress because we had pneumonia as a child a couple of times, or we had chronic bronchitis. And some of that stress and tension may not leave the lungs. I mean, it takes 2 years on average for the lungs to recover after someone has had pneumonia. Okay. Now, if you've had pneumonia, but you are a person that folds your arms all the time, well, guess what? You're not allowing your rib cage to expand. You're not allowing your lungs to open and expand the way they normally would. So we have things like that, or we have people that have been smokers, or even have just been around other people that were smokers, and we've inhaled all that smoke, and that's damaged our lungs. But you can even clear the toxins from your lungs using the EOL process. So I had a funny thing happen to me years ago, that I was building a campfire, and it wasn't that cold, but you know, you want a campfire anyway. And I was having this smoke that was coming out of my mouth, and it wasn't cold enough to see your breath. And this wasn't, you know, this wasn't the breath from it being cold. This was literally smoke coming out of my mouth. And I had to stop and look and say, and as I was talking, it was like the smoke just kept coming out as I was talking. I was actually releasing smoke that had gotten into my lungs from a past life. Okay. So even the dog was looking up at me like, what's wrong with you? Because the fire, it was a good fire. There was no smoke coming up from the fire. Nothing for me to inhale and then send back out. So again, as you're working with and I was not, you know, consciously working with the process at that time, but what I'm getting at is that it brings it into your consciousness that you can heal things spontaneously as well without even thinking about it. And that's what I was doing. I was clearing my lungs of smoke that had come in eons ago without even thinking about it, without even trying. How is everyone feeling? You've had this energy going through you. The whole thing here now is to keep the energy going the whole time we're together. And even after we get done tonight, if you want to sit and just have that energy go through you for, you know, another 20 minutes or an hour, that's what you want to do, because I'm giving you the basic simple guidelines of move the energy, take it into the areas of your body where you need it, let it do the work. And all you have to do is kind of sit there and relax and breathe. And you have to breathe anyway. So we're not adding anything really, you know, too hard onto your plate here. Just don't anybody stop breathing. That'd be bad. So we keep everybody breathing. Now you're breathing with a purpose. You're bringing the energy in, letting it flow through your body, wash over your cells, and release your stress and tension. Okay, so this is a good time for a couple of comments. If someone wants to turn their mic on and speak, let everyone know how you're doing.
I have a question.
Sure.
Oh, okay. When you're bringing it to a specific spot, do you always bring it through your hands, or can you just breathe it into the spot?
You want to bring it into your
like
hands.
Okay,
bringing it into the hands is the process of awakening all of those cells as you go up, and then you bring it down through the body. So that way, if you're just breathing it in, if you are able to do that, okay, some people are, even from the beginning. But the whole process is to awaken every cell in your body. So you can always pull energy in, or you can pull it in through your crown, but you may be taking it to the area, but you're not awakening every cell. And this is what
okay, so even if, okay, so like even like when we were doing the lungs, like I was still pulling it through my hands, bringing it in, and then going to the lungs. Oh,
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Because remember, we're working with meridians and everything. We're working with the nervous system. Okay, so if there is something that is affecting the lung meridian, you are pulling it in through the hands. You are now opening the lung meridian. Okay. All right.
Yep. Thank you. It's great. Definitely
Great.
feels great.
Great question. All right, someone else?
So that's specifically the EOL process is always in through the palms, up the arms, and then down through the rest of the body. So you can send it anywhere, but it's always that same flow, right?
Yes, it's always that same flow no matter what you're doing. All right, now, so some of you had your hands up earlier, so who's got a comment? Cassie, go ahead.
Hi. I guess I'm just thinking, do you have to pray to anything like when you started, right, in the morning? Like, what do you think of? You just think of the energy? Do you think of Egyptian goddess? I don't know.
Think of God if you like, think of universal energy, and that's what you're pulling in. Okay. So you don't have to start with a prayer. If that's what you like to do, then start with a prayer. Okay.
Okay.
But if you just, if I'm just sitting here in the house and I need to really calm some things down, I just turn my palms up, pull the energy in, take it through the body. 10 minutes later, I'm ready to do the dishes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I noticed I really lightened up and my mood got lighter.
Okay.
It was great. I think even my room is lighter. It was possible.
Well,
it's cool.
Now you may not notice it right now, but it is possible also for some of you that it may improve your vision.
Oh, that'd be great.
So you can actually tell a difference of brightness or clarity, sharpness sometimes.
Oh.
Now, when I'm working with people with their vision, I've had astigmatisms disappear, and I work with several people with they call it they get the cloudy vision, and I know it just can't come to me right now, the cataracts.
Right.
So we actually use the energy to get rid of cataracts.
Wow.
Okay, and astigmatisms.
Okay.
And over time, I worked with someone years ago that had just gotten new glasses, and I needed to open up the back of the neck and spine and everything. So we're using the energy to do all of that. And then he couldn't see out of his new glasses. So he went back to the eye doctor, and he was reading 3 lines farther down on the chart without his glasses than he was 3 months earlier.
Wow.
Okay. So
Impressive.
it's nice when you can get confirmation by going to the doctor and them checking you and says, wait a minute. Well, luckily for him, he didn't tell him that, he went to someone and got worked on, because they figured they made a mistake and they gave him new glasses. So.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, awesome. Okay.
Great. Do we have anyone else like to comment before we move on? All right. Everyone's still feeling a nice flow? And have you noticed how it got smoother with time? When it first starts going through the body, it's got to move some areas of stuck energy to really get to a nice flow. Once it gets to a nice flow, that's all it is a flow. It's just coming through. You may not even notice it unless you have a particular area that you're working with. And that's the beauty of it. It is so simple to do, and yet you can accomplish so much in such a short time. So as I said, 15 minutes, half an hour a day, just move the energy through your body. And of course, you can always do longer. You can do it several times a day. And it really depends on what you're going through. So obviously, if someone's going through something that is a more serious type of illness, then you'd want to use it more often. So let's pick an emotion. Fear, anger, sadness, guilt, frustration, anger. And as you're moving the energy through, as it's washing over the area or areas in your body where you're holding that emotion, you can let that emotion go. So as you're pulling the energy through, I'm going to add a little something to it. Give yourself permission to let go of that emotion, that fear and anxiety, that anger and frustration, sadness, loss, grief, guilt, shame, whatever it is. Pull the energy in through the hands, up to the head, neck, and shoulders. Take it down through the body, giving yourself permission to let go of that emotion. And just let it flow right on out the soles of your feet. And one of the things that is fun sometimes when you're releasing something that's emotional is you start out and you say, okay, as I said earlier, sometimes, we give things a size. It's the size of a basketball, or sometimes it's bigger. Sometimes it's a big beach ball. Doesn't matter. It starts to get smaller and smaller and smaller as you release it. So for those of you that are visual, that can be really helpful. Okay. Others are more feeling, and you might feel the intensity getting less. And some of you, again, it might be more of a mental process that you want to give it a number, and it starts out as a 10, and you're bringing it down, and you're seeing it in your mind's eye as it goes down to a 5, a 4, whatever it is. So you think in terms of some of the practices that you already do, things you've already learned. It's so easy to incorporate this in with those. So we're not trying to get you to throw out the window everything you've learned and do the EOL process, but use the EOL process to enhance whatever it is that you're already doing. Now, another aspect of the EOL process is when the energy is going through, you are more in tune with your body intuitively. So if you have let's say a physical pain somewhere, ask your body and just allow the answer to come to you. So try not to go into thinking mode. So maybe it'd be better if I would ask the question. I want to ask your body to show you the cause of that physical pain, like when it came in or what the injury or accident was, and just allow it to come into your consciousness. Try not to think. Sometimes just going with that first thought, that first image, memory that pops in. All right. How about a show of hands or thumbs or whatever as far as how many of you had an answer that came in for that? Good. See some hands up. Okay. And then we'll try this other one. Allow it to come to you the earliest time in your life that fear got lodged in your body. What age was that? All right. How many of you got an age? Good. Again, see some hands, some thumbs. So when we can look at the earliest time something happened and go back and release it at that age of 5 or 4 or 3, whatever it was, then that starts to release of all the other fears that have come into our bodies since then. So we're going back to the root cause of that fear. So this is part of the intuitive piece that comes through with the EOL process. It allows you to access that type of information. If you were asking about a particular illness, if you've got a thyroid problem, pancreas, liver, it doesn't matter what it is, you can ask the questions of, what is the earliest time in my life that something damaged my liver, my kidneys, whatever, and what was it? And many times we will find that it's emotion, that we held an emotion, we put it right there in the liver or in the kidneys or in the lungs. So again, this is part of what is unique about the EOL process, that you can access all of that intuitive information by just asking. So we've only got a couple minutes. So this is let's try to get some verbal feedback here on your experience up to now. Who'd like to speak up? Not everybody at once now.
I just felt that it was I love the feeling of the energy going all the way through and around, looping around, coming down. It felt great. It felt very healing. Thank you.
Good. All right, good. Thank you.
Hi, Aaron. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, oh, it worked.
All right.
I was happy to do this with you tonight. I actually ordered the CDs, the meditation CDs for fear release and fear and anxiety and frustration. I ordered all of them that I could get. And so I've been using them for almost a year now. And I can't tell you how many times they've really helped me to come down from a really scary place with the anxiety that I've had and PTSD, that's been in. So I would love to continue this. I spoke with someone last week and I got the beginning information to begin to learn Reiki. And I was interested in that because it's local. I mean, I'm way far away from you. I can't go run into your office or anything. And I thought, well, maybe I could kind of see human beings, in my own area, because I haven't done that for a long time, and start that. So I was glad you said, you can use it with everything, because I was, more interested in this, but I'd like to be able to incorporate it. And thank you for mentioning eyes and astigmatism I have, and cataracts, little cataracts. And I went to the eye doctor on Monday. And I said, oh, so I have cataracts in both eyes. And she said, yes. And I said, well, I'll have to see what I can do about that. I don't think she, because I've already planned on fixing it. So, hopefully with the power and I feel like I've got a blockage in my third eye. I was actually in a car accident, was smashed in. So I might need help with that in someday too. But I want to thank you for everything. I'm so glad to be here.
So one of the things I'll just throw out there about the astigmatisms, if you've had head injury, a lot of times that is affecting the muscles which cause the astigmatism. So there are 6 muscles that control each eye. And when 1 or 2 of those muscles are pulling, that is what pulls the eye out of round and causes the astigmatism. So you can work on relaxing the muscles, but you have to get the rest of that from the head injury out of there in order for those muscles to go back to 100%. Okay.
I want to say something real quick. Lori mentioned about Reiki classes, and tomorrow I will be adding to our calendar. My colleague Amanda is going to be teaching Reiki level 1 virtually, remotely. So if anybody is interested in learning another modality that you can use with the EOL process, I'm going to be adding that to our calendar tomorrow. And you just reminded me, Lori, so thank you.
Mhm. Yes, and for any of you that are interested in this Saturday, let me just give you a little sample. What I'm going to be doing, don't know if you can see this that well. Try to get it up there. You see those dots on the face there? These are acupuncture and acupressure points that I'll be working on to do a facial. But I'll be doing the facial energetically, and then I'll be doing acupressure in the afternoon. So if let's see, my little acu wand, give you a quick example of how this works. All right. So I'm going to hold the acu wand against the point for the thigh. So I hold it at the point and then I send the energy. All right, can you feel that energy going to your thighs? All right, I see some hands up already. All right, so I hold the point on the chart and then I send the energy to you using the energy of live healing process. And then it starts to relax your thighs. So when I will be doing a class on acupressure to be done distantly at some point. All right, so finishing with the thigh, going down to the knee point. Going to the leg point. And now down to a foot point. Now, can you feel your legs relaxing a little bit? Good. I see some hands up already. So we can do acupressure distantly that is just as effective as if you were on the table.
It's just wild.
So again, when we're looking at, how is the EOL process a little different, a little unique, is because it allows us to do some things that are out of the box. Now, I'm actually using mouth points. So I'm going inside the mouth to points to do those on your thigh and leg. Welcome to my weird world. All right, so if we don't have any other questions, we're going to wrap up. So we got time for one or two more quick questions if there's someone that has anything, or if someone just like to make a comment, that would be fine too, on your experience. And remember that you can sit and continue to pull the energy in for as long as you choose to this evening. Even if you need to get up and go to the bathroom or do something, you can walk and just keep a little focus on it. The energy will still keep going through your body. Then you can sit right back down and sit there for another 10 or 15 minutes or whatever you're choosing. All right, no comments, no other questions? All right, then I'd like to thank all of you for joining me tonight, and hope you can get some benefit out of what we did, and look forward to seeing you again.